Welcome back to the CADCAST. My vocal cords are dead. I'm CAD, and I'm joined by Kris, of course, and for the
Always.
first time ever in
Chris was the
CADCAST
second,
history,
actually.
our returning guest, Jordan.
Yo,
Feel special.
He's back.
guess who's
Electro
back?
Knight, the one
Back
only.
again. JD's back.
Don't tell your friends. And for a very rare occasion on the CADCAST, we're actually going to be talking about what the show is supposed to be about. Video games. Wow. What a miracle.
Wow.
Can I get a round of applause? Fantastic. Anyways, so yeah, this is going to be a pretty vanilla episode of the CADCAST. Don't expect much goofs and gaffs. We're just going to be a couple of sweaty fucking lame nerds talking about games. More specifically, for this episode of the CADCAST, we're going to be talking about a very popular game and a very popular series that has made millions of dollars and is being milked to death at this point. If you know what it is, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But it is Skyrim, Elder Scrolls V, and its subsequent games before that, which I believe in order are Arena, Daggerfall, Redguard, Morrowind, and Oblivion. And we will not at all be talking about Elder Scrolls Online because that game sucks dick. Kris here is our resident Skyrim professional, and he knows everything about it. Apparently, that's what he said to me. And if he's lying, he's read every book in the game. He's read every book in the game.
Shut your mouth. I don't know everything. I know some of the main stuff and some other extra stuff. If I have read every book in the game, I would want to hang myself. So I haven't done that yet. And I will never read every book in the game because that's a lot.
My ass. That's
like over 1,000 books, dude. I'm not doing that.
There's over 1,000 books in the game.
Yeah.
Like full-length books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. Not doing it.
The only book I know is the Lusty Argonian Maid.
Of course you do, you perv.
Yeah, of course. I love the lizards. So for those unaware, the Elder Scrolls is a game series developed and published by Bethesda, which is an RPG series, fantasy-based, and takes place... Is it a continent, Kris, or is it like multiple continents?
Which one? Are we talking the entire series or just Skyrim?
Yeah, the entire series.
Yeah, the entire series would be a continent, because then you got Elsewhere, you got Black Marsh, you got Hammerfell, you got Morrowind. They all form a continent. And then Tamriel is its own little country. Yeah.
So, if you're already not aware, I am not most well-versed in the Elder Scrolls. My specialty comes in Fallout. But I have played a decent-ish amount of Skyrim, and I do own Morrowind on my computer, yet I have not played it yet. But like I said, I do know enough. But Kris here is the most well-versed in Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. Jordan, what's your history with the Elder Scrolls?
Really, Jack and Kris pretty much got me into it back then, and I've gotten a few, I would say, days in worth, but it's just basically goofing around, killing people, and like stealing shit. But I don't really know much of the lore, and I actually haven't beat the game yet, so I'd say I have some history, but it's not complete.
So me and Jordan here are professionals on making an entire episode about Skyrim, which is what we're getting at. But yes, the Elder Scrolls has been a very popular series. It's been around for a very long time. I'm not exactly sure when the first one came out, but it did come out in the 90s. And I remember the first one that got really big and popular was Morrowind. Mainly, well, almost primarily because it released on the original Xbox and was one of the most popular selling games on the system. Then Oblivion came out for the Xbox 360 and PS3, and that one was also really popular, but then that one had I have to talk about the horse armor. Horse armor was the very first sort of big stir up of like shitty DLC for games. If you're not aware, it was like multiple dollars for like just shitty armor for a horse. Also, if you hear joysticks in the background, Jordan's playing Rocket League. So
I didn't think you can hear that.
So don't
And later
worry
in the
about it.
video, if you hear munching, that's also Jordan eating.
Jordan has many things planned for this CADcast besides doing the CADcast.
Yeah.
Any whoosies. Skyrim. When did Skyrim come out? 2011?
Yeah. November 11th, 2011, I think.
Oh, this kid has the date.
Shut up.
And Skyrim has been one of the best-selling RPGs of all time. And it has transcended gaming generations. And it will definitely be on the Series X and PS5. And it will probably be released on the PlayStation 74 by the time I die. So,
Yep.
Kris, I want you. Let's start with Skyrim mainly because it's your main thing, and give me just a brief rundown of some important things of Skyrim. We'll get into the deeper shit later, but give me some bullet points.
Okay. So I guess we'll first talk about the different races you can choose before you even start your Skyrim game. I guess we'll start at the main starting point. So you have 10 races you can choose from during the start of the game. You have the Altmer, also known as High Elves. You have the Argonians. You have the Bosmer, or Wood Elves. The Bretons. The Dunmer, or Dark Elves. The Imperials. The Khajiit. The Nords. The Orcs. And the Red Guards. Each native from different regions of the continent of Tamriel. Each of them
epic.
Specialize in different things and have different unique powers that benefit them. Like Altmer are known for their magical prowess and would start with extra magicka in the game. You have Wood Elves, which familiarize themselves more with bows and stealth. You have the Orcs and the Nords, who would be more warriors and brutes. You would have, the Argonians, who nobody ever chooses because they're probably the worst race to choose in Skyrim.
I'm just gonna preface this by saying my first playthrough of Skyrim, I picked an Argonian.
Of course you did. Of course it is pathetic. No one chooses Argonian.
The Argonians have healing magic by default.
Yeah, whatever.
And they don't take water drown. Oh, so Jordan's back with his chilies.
Yep.
Keep going.
Welcome. Okay. Most people would choose a Nord, or people who prefer to play as a native race to the Elder Scrolls they're playing would choose a Nord as their native of Skyrim. Nords are also known to be racist towards, Argonians and Dark Elves because
they're dark.
Exactly, pretty much. And
what about we can't forget the best race, the fucking Red Guards. Come on, bro.
Oh my gosh, the Red Guards, the most overpowered race you could choose in Skyrim.
Yes.
God, if you don't choose them in your first playthrough, you're doing something wrong.
That's right.
Sarcasm.
And then
you what, mate?
Kris, I have a question.
Oh, of course you do. What's up?
So there's the two races. There's a Nord and there's an Imperial. What's the difference between them?
Well, okay. What are we talking? Are we talking physical appearance? Are we talking prowess? What are we talking about?
What would be like the biggest difference from like choosing from Nord and like Imperial?
Nords would specialize more in two-handed, brutish warriors, while a Imperial would be you could choose either to play as a spell sword, who would do one-handed and different spells in the hand, or a pure mage.
Okay, I see. Because they practically look the same. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's racist.
That's kind of racist, but I can see where
that's kind of fucked up. Yeah,
it's just the Imperial is a little bit darker.
That's racist.
That is racist.
It's Skyrim. How can't you not be racist?
Oh my god. That explains a lot. Kids growing up playing Skyrim are racist now. That's a scientific fact.
Wow. Wow. So
okay.
I guess we'll move on from the races to main questline of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
I was about to say the entire series. Fuck me.
Nope, of just Skyrim. So I'll go from beginning to end. I pretty much know the entire story.
Minor spoiler warnings for a 10-year-old game.
Yeah, if you haven't played Skyrim, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, this game is older than you.
So the game starts off with you getting carted to Helgen with Rayloff, Ulfric Stormcloak, the Jarl of
This
Windhelm,
motherfucker
and
just memorized the names.
shut
I'm
up. And
so
the Jarl of
mad.
Windhelm and is fighting for role of High King during the Skyrim Civil War. And some horse thief that no one ever cares about because he dies in the first 5 minutes. Yep, you get carted into Helgen, you're awaiting the chopping block. This is where you can first choose what race you want to be and how they look and what your name would be. But before you get murdered on the chopping block, Alduin, the main antagonist of the game, swoops down from a mountainside and saves your butt. You then fight through Helgen, blah, 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 a lot of death, people, blah, blah. You get out, blah, blah, head to Riverwood with either Rayloff or Hadvar, depending on who you chose. Blah, 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 talk to Alvor, blah, 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 a lot of talking. Then you head to Whiterun to talk to Jarl Balgruuf about sending troops to
who?
Riverwood. Jarl Balgruuf. Jarl Balin.
Y'all
I
ball
don't even, I don't
Yeah, you
even
don't
know
know
what
Jarl
this
Balgruuf?
language is. I don't speak
Elder
this
Scroll language.
shit. It's the
Anywho,
dragon tongue.
after you talk to Jarl Balgruuf, and he sends you to his mage Farengar, you head to Bleak Falls Barrow to get the Dragonstone, kill some Draugr, which is pretty much just undead. You get your first word of power there, which we'll probably talk about words of power later, blah, blah, blah. You go back to Farengar, give him stone. Aroleth comes around, says dragon attack, blah, blah, blah. Talk to Balgruuf, blah, blah, blah. Head to the Western Watchtower, kill dragon, blah, blah. Dragon is dead. I'm somewhere. You want me to say word for word?
I want you to read every single line of dialogue.
I haven't memorized that. The moment I memorize every line of dialogue in the game is the moment I can finally end myself. Anywho,
So you feel at peace when you can
Yes.
recite the entirety of Skyrim.
Skyrim. And anyway, head back to Jarl Balgruuf. Tell him, yeah, dragon's dead. Blah blah. Dragonborn is. I'll talk about that later. We haven't talked. We don't care about. Blah blah. You head over to Iverstead, which is on the foothills of the Throat of the World. You head up the Throat of the World to High Hrothgar. You talk to the Greybeards, which know a lot about words of power and being the Dragonborn. Do some menial tasks like shout up their faces and do other shouting stuff. You then head over to Eustengrave to get the horn of Jorgen Windcaller. Killed some other dead dudes again, blah blah, who cares? Head back to High Hrothgar. Actually, skip that. You had to head over to Riverwood. Talk to Delphine because she stole the horn from Eustengrave. You tell her you're Dragonborn. She wants you to kill another dragon, but before that, you head up to High Hrothgar, give them the horn. Then you head to Windhelm. You walk over to an inn. Killed. I heard that. Shut your mouth. Whoever's snoring, I'm gonna slit your throat. Stop snoring. I'm in the middle of something. Stop it. It'll get more interesting. Wait. It'll get interesting. I hate you so much. Anyway, you kill a dragon. Blah blah. Head back to Riverwood. You have to infiltrate the Thalmor embassy to figure out why, if the Thalmor are, resurrecting the dragons. You go through. You learn that they're not. You head over to Riften to find Esbern, who knows about dragons. To save his butt, head back to Riverwood. A lot, it's just a lot of stuff happens. Then you gotta head over to Skyhaven Temple, to Alduin's Wall. Then you head over, do all that stuff, head back to High Hrothgar to learn about the Dragon Rend, which is a shout that you need to defeat Alduin. You head up to the Throat of the World to talk to Parthenax, who is the leader of the Greybeards and is also a dragon. Okay. You then head to Winterhold to the college. to learn about the location of an Elder Scroll. You then head over to talk to some dude who I forgot his name because he's not that important. He tells you the location. You head over to a Dwemer ruin, go through that, kill some Falmer, head to Black Reach, get the scroll, head back to the Throne of the World, learn Dragon Rend, defeat Alduin for the first time, but then he flies away. You then head to Whiterun again, talk to the Jarl about capturing a dragon, and then depending if you did the Civil War questline or not, you'll have a different choices here and stuff, but we won't get into that. Do all that stuff. You then talk to Jarl Balgruuf again. You capture the dragon. He flies you over to Skuldolphin. You go through there. You head to Sovngarde. You go through there. You go and talk to the people who were dead already from attacking Alduin the first time to get their help, and then you finally defeat Alduin. You go back to the real world, and boom, there's the Skyrim main story.
Damn.
That's gonna
And
be on
now
the test tomorrow.
for the 2 DLCs.
Oh fuck.
First DLC,
You thought it was
Dawnguard.
over.
the Dawnguard
Guess what,
DLC.
bitches? We're back.
So as soon as you hit, I believe it's level 10. I don't remember. Some orc dude will come up to you and say, "Hey, vampires, help us kill them." You say, "Yeah, eat, fine." You head over near Riften to Fort Dawnguard. You go there, talk to Ezron, who's the leader. He sends you to Dim Hollow Crypt to find out what the vampires want there. You go through there, kill some vampires, kill one named vampire that no one cares because he only has 2 minutes of screen time. And then you open a sarcophagus and you find everybody's favorite vampire wife, Serana. You then take her back to Castle Volkahar.
I talked to her ass, and she sounded like she was on Zans.
Well, yeah, you got to get mods to make her, better. But anywho, head to Castle Volkahar, which is west of Solitude. And then you tell Harkin, who's the leader of the Volkahar vampires, here's your daughter. And then you make a very crucial choice in the campaign. You could either side with the Volkahar vampires, or you can go back and be with the Dawnguard. I usually choose the Dawnguard because they have cooler stuff. But every once in a while, I side with the Volkahar because their campaign is also pretty cool. And then here's where it gets confusing because I have to talk about both quest lines now. You're snoring again, and so help me God, Sam. So when it comes Monday, I'm going to beat your knees. Anywho, we'll talk about the Dawnguard first. Head back to the castle. You tell Ezron, "Hey, there's this hot waifu that I gave back to Castle Volkahar. My bad." He gets mad at you. Then you have to go recruit 2 dudes for the Dawnguard. Serene Gerard and some big old burly Nord guy that I don't remember his name. The dude can make armored trolls to fight for you, and then Serene can make crossbows, which the crossbows are fucking sick. That's why I choose the Dawnguard most of the time. Anywho,
Imagine not wanting a vampire MILF wife and vampire powers. I'm done.
no matter which size you choose, you still get Serana as your waifu. So shut your mouth, Samson.
Never mind. Best DLC. Okay.
Anywho, after that, you head over. I might be skipping one because I haven't played the Dawnguard side of the quest while long. English hard. Anywho, I'll minimize their side. Boom, you gotta go find a moth priest to read Elder Scrolls.
A moth priest?
A moth priest. They are in charge of reading Elder Scroll.
A moth priest.
Moth priest. MOTH priest. Moth priest.
Like the bug?
Like the bug.
Like
Anywho, head to Winterhall to figure out where the dude. I had a stroke. It's fine. To figure out where the dude is. You then head to Dragon's Bridge, which is a little bit west of Solitude. You find that the dude's carriage has been destroyed by vampires. You head over to some cave nearby, kill some vampires, save the dude. He's like, yeah, yeet fam, I'll read that Elder Scroll for you. He heads back to not Castle Volkihar, to the Castle Dawnguard, Fort Dawnguard. Same thing, just different names. He reads the Elder Scroll, but then you're like, dang fam, we need more Elder Scrolls. So then you have to head back to Castle Volkihar, sneak around the back, go into deep old dungeons under there, head to Serana's mother's little alchemy table, which her name's Valerica, but no one cares about her. You have to head to the Soul Cairn, but in order to do that, you need to have your soul trapped or be a vampire, and if you're doing the Dawnguard DLC, you have to get your soul trapped, in which you get weakened, but then you can go into the Soul Cairn. You head into the Soul Cairn, head to this big old castle down there. To talk to Valerica. She's a bit of a bitch the first time you meet her, but then she gets a little bit better, but not that much better. She yells at you. She kind of wants to kill you, but oh well. And then after that, you have to kill these things called keepers, which they're not that strong. And also in the Soul Cairn, you can meet Jib, so that's pretty cool.
Who?
Jib.
JIB?
No, not GIB. JIUB. Oh, you haven't played Morrowind yet. My bad. You'll meet him when you play Morrowind.
Oh my god.
Anywho, he's dead. You can do a quest for him. That's not that important. You can also find an undead horse there that you can get as a mount, which is pretty cool. I use him most of the time. He's summonable, so it's pretty cool. Anywho, you kill the keepers, head back to the castle, head into the castle. You then gotta kill Durnavir, who is an undead dragon. Pretty cool. But he doesn't die because he can't die because he's already dead, but can't be deaded again because he's working for the Ideal Masters, who are the rulers of the Soul Cairn, so he can't really die. Anywho, you then get the Elder Scroll, you leave the castle. Durnavir talks to you because he's like, damn fam, you pretty strong. I like you. And then you get a shout that you can use to summon him, which is pretty cool, and he can teach you a shout that's really powerful. But then you get to the main world again, you head back to Fort Dawnguard. Dexian reads... Actually, no, Dexian gets blinded because he didn't prepare enough to read the first scroll. So then you gotta head over to Ancestral Glade.
How long is this shit?
Dude, it's just as long as the main quest line.
This shit seems longer than the main. What the fuck?
Okay, you go to Ancestral Glade, you read the Elder Scrolls, you learn the location of Auriel's bow, which you need to beat Harkin, and near the end.
Auriel's bow.
Ariel's bow, not Ariel's, you're freaking weirdo. It's Ariel. You pleb. You go to a cave, you head down there, you meet a snow elf, which were thought to be, wiped out, but there's two left, and one of them's a vampire, and the one who's not a vampire asks you to kill his vampire brother in order to get Ariel's bow. So then you gotta go through a long place, filling up this pitcher with water. It's really stupid. I don't know why they added that into that quest line, but it's really dumb. You then head over to this really sick looking area that I don't remember what the name is because I haven't played it in a while. You then head through there, blah blah blah, to this DLC really likes castles, to another big castle. You head in there, head to the top, you kill Verther, which is the dude's brother, and the other dude who's not a vampire, his name is Celeborn. Or Celebor, depending on how you want to say. Celebor or Celebor.
Calabar from Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge.
Celebor, you idiots. Anyway, you kill the dude's brother. He gives you Ariel's bow. You head back to Dawnguard. You go like, hey, I have bow. Let's kill Harkin. You head over to Castle Volkihar. You kill all of his followers. You then head into his area for this really big old anticlimactic boss battle. He's pretty easy to kill. You kill him. Dawnguard DLC wraps up But now we gotta talk about the vampire side. So it's all of that up to Serana, but then you accept his power. You then head over to talk to this dude named Garen, who's a vampire. You have to go fill up the Bloodstone Chalice, which will give Harkin powers. You then come back after his two top guys tried to kill you, but then you killed the dudes who they sent to kill you. And then you head back. He's like, find Moth Priest. You find the Moth Priest again, except killing Steadfast. It's the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing after that part. So I guess we can call that quits.
Oh.
And next is the Soulstime DLC, also known as Dragonborn. Continue. After you find the Horn of Eustengrov, whenever you enter a next major city or town, these cultists will come up to you and say, "Hey, you ain't real Dragonborn. This dude named Mirak is. We're gonna kill you, and he's gonna be, powerful." But then you kill the cultists. You head over to Solstheim, which was broken off of Morrowind after the Red Mountain erupted. There's ash all over the place. You head there, blah, blah, blah. You gotta figure out who this Mirak dude is. You figure out who this Mirak dude is. You gotta head over to his temple. You then meet Freya, who is the Serana of the Dawnguard DLC, but she's not as good as Serana, so she's like a downgraded Serana. And then after that, you go through his temple to figure out who he is.
Jordan, you mind muting your mic?
I agree, I'm in the middle of storytelling. You then find a black book, which is part of Hermaeus Mora's stuff, but we'll talk about all those Daedric princes later. You go through that, you read the book, Mirak's like, "Hey fam, you ain't gonna beat me." He hurts you a bit, he throws you back into the real world. You head over to the Skull Village to meet Freya's father, who I don't remember his name is because he dies later in the campaign. You talk to him, he's like, "Hey, go do the stuff with the stones and find this world of power to destroy the stones." You destroy the stones. It's like Endgame with stones. You destroy the stones.
Thanos.
Yeah, you're like Thanos, you destroy the stones to destroy the stones. It's a lot.
Right. You gotta use this, yeah.
And then you gotta head over to Tel Mithryn to talk to this dude named Neloth, who's like a really popular and powerful Dunmer wizard. He's like, "Hey, I know how to get you another black book. You gotta go to these Glimmer ruins, but they can only be opened after finding all these cubes, which in order to find all these cubes, you have to go through the Dunmer dungeon and kill things to find the cubes." It's the worst part of that campaign, and I hated it so much. But after you do that, you find the black book, you read the black book, it's like, "Hey, here's these word of powers, blah, blah, blah." Hermaeus Mora is like, "Hey, to kill Miracle, give you endless power." And then after that, you go back to the dude. You read the book, you head into Mirak's domain of Apocrypha, you go through there, you go in, you kill Mirak like always, and then freaking Hermaeus is like, "Good job, congrats, here's endless power." You're like, "Nah, fam, I don't want it." Or you can be like, "Yeah, fam, I'll take it." You go back. That concludes the Dawnguard DLC.
The Dawnguard.
I mean, not Dawnguard, Dragonborn. It's not as eventful as the Dawnguard, and it's probably probably the worst DLC. There's all the DLCs and the main campaign done.
Holy shit, that was half the episode. All right, so Jordan's BRB eating his dinners, but nope. Oh, oh shit. I spoke too soon.
Anywho, now let's talk about the Daedric princes.
The fuck are the Daedric princesses?
No, not the Daedric princesses, you child. The Daedric princes.
Oh, good golly. All right, well, keep going, Kris.
Okay, so there's I don't remember how many there are. There's like a lot of Daedric princes. There's a lot, especially in Skyrim alone. There's like 13. Yeah, there's like 13. But we'll just go in order, and then we'll also talk about their Daedric artifact. So first off, in alphabetical order, we got Azura, who's the Daedric Prince of Dusk and Dawn. She's considered, I guess, one of the better princesses. And her Daedric artifact would be called Azura Star. very unique. It's pretty much a soul gem that is never used and can be endlessly used to fill souls and enchant weapons. Okay. Next will be called Boethia, who's Daedric Prince of Deceit, treason. She's one of She's one of the bad ones. She's also known to have eaten, and I quote, eaten or consumed Jigalag.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a lot going on. She apparently ate.
Eat a what?
She apparently consumed Jigalag.
What is that?
He's another Daedric Prince.
Oh. Ate the homie.
Yeah, she ate the homie. Her artifact is called the Ebony Mail, in which, when worn, will muffle the user, making you silent, and will also poison people around you, which is really cool. Next, we got Clavicus Vile, who's the Prince of Packs and bargains and deals and stuff.
How many princes are there?
It's like 13.
I thought you were about to say like 57.
Oh, there's 13. Or there's 13 in Skyrim. Anywho, his artifact is called the Mask of Clavicus Vile. All these names are very unique and different. Pretty much all it is, it's a mask that makes you better at prices and speech and stuff. No one cares about it. It's probably one of the worst ones. Next, we got my homie, Hermaeus Mora, who's the Daedric Prince of Knowledge and Memory. His Daedric artifact is the Ogma Infinium. You could also kind of count the Black Books as his Daedric artifacts, but his main one would be the Ogma Infinium, in which when you read it, you can choose 3 different sets of skills. You can either choose the warrior skills, the mage skills, or the thief skills to be leveled up by a really good amount. It's one of the better ones, but I wouldn't recommend using it because you lose out on Daedric artifacts. Next, we got Hircine, which would be the Prince of Hunt and Game and Werewolves. He's pretty much the dude who made werewolves a thing. His artifact, technically he has 2, but you can only really get 1 during his quest line, unless you use a glitch in order to get 2. But I'll talk about both of them anyway. So his first one would be called the Ring of Hircine. I know, very unique. Which would allow you to have an unlimited amount of werewolf transformations. Because in the base game, you can only transform into a werewolf once per day. And you're not in the werewolf form that long, so it's probably one of the more useful things. And then his second artifact would be called Savior's Hide, which is just an armor that gives you like poison and disease resistance. It's not that good. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd rather get the Ring of Hircine. Okay, next we have Malakath, who is the prince of, other weird stuff. No one cares about Malakath. I don't really like talking about him because he's useless.
Prince of weird stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty much the Daedric Prince of Orcs. So his artifact would be called, oh crap, what is his called? I never care about his questline. Volendrung, that's right, Volendrung. It's a big old hammer that drains stamina. It looks cool, but the enchantment's pathetic. The only reason I'd get it is
shitty. Why would you use that? It purposely inhibits you.
I never use it. When I say consumes stamina, I mean from the enemy, not you.
Oh, I was about to say.
I was
like,
about to
use
say.
it.
Yeah, it consumes from the enemy.
Takes your stamina.
No, from the enemy, not you.
I'm dumb.
Next, we got one of my personal favorites, Mehrunes Dagon, who's the Prince of Destruction.
I thought that was an item.
His artifact is Mehrunes Razor, which is, I'd say, one of the strongest artifacts.
Increases shaving powers.
It actually has a certain percentage chance to instantly kill an enemy. Any enemy.
Including dragon?
Yep. But
Wow.
the sad thing is, I think the percentage is like less than 1%. So
mods.
Next, we have the Daedric Prince Mufala.
Mufasa?
Mufasa.
No, Mufala.
Muthala.
Muthala.
Who's your favorite Skyrim character? Mufasa.
I love Mufasa. He's the greatest ever of the Daedric princes.
Yes, that's right. She's okay. I had to remember for a sec because I forgot.
He had to look up on the wiki.
Shut your mouth.
He didn't remember it.
She's the
That's
prince
right.
of manipulation and unknown plots. Her
Mufasa
Daedric
would be.
artifact. Her artifact is called the Ebony Blade, which is a really cool looking sword that drains health from enemies. And then depending on how many people who like you kill will increase the amount of health it absorbs. So it starts off at 10, and then after you kill 10 people who like you, it goes up to 30. So then you can easily cheat the system by using the Dead Thrall spell and just keeping reviving the same dude who you killed. It's really easy to cheese. Ugh. Meridia hates undead. Her Daedric artifact is the Dawn. It's called Dawnbreaker, which does damage to undead. And if you kill an
Oh
undead
shit!
with
Is that sword?
Dawnbreaker,
The sword, yeah.
it's a sword, yes.
Does it have like the circle thing in the middle?
Yeah, that looks like a sun. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I remember that. I got that sword. I didn't know what it was.
It does fire damage, and then if you kill an undead with it, the enemy explodes. Next, another favorite, Molag Bal, who's the Prince of Domination. His Daedric artifact is, can you guess, the Mace of Molag Bal? Very useful.
Holy shit!
Which has an absorb stamina enchantment and a soul trap enchantment on it. It's probably one of the better looking Daedric artifacts in the game. I think it looks pretty sick. And then we have the grossest Daedric Prince Namira, who, eats people. But her Daedric artifact is called the Ring of Namira, in which wearing it will increase your stamina and allow you to eat people.
Bruh.
Yep, you can be a cannibal if you want to. And then we have Nocturnal, who, Prince of Night and Darkness. You only really deal with her during the Thieves Guild questline, which we'll talk about later. Her Daedric artifact is the Skeleton Key, which can open any door, and it's a lockpick that can open any door and doesn't break. And then we have Periite, who's the Daedric Prince of Pestilence. His Daedric artifact is the Spellbreaker, which is a shield that casts a ward to block spells. Cool. And then we have another one of my personal favorites, just because his quest is so good. We have Sanguine, who's the Prince of Debauchery. Sanguine. Call him whatever you want. His quest, I would say, is definitely one of the more entertaining ones. And his artifact is pretty weak. It's called the Sanguine Rose, which all it does is summon a Dremora. Pretty pathetic. And everyone who's played Elder Scrolls will know who I'm going to be talking about next. The man, the myth, the legend, Sheogorath, the Prince of Madness. His Daedric artifact, like most of the other games, is the Wabbajack, which
What?
The Wabbajack. The Wabbajack. I know.
Huh?
Never heard of it?
What the fuck?
The Wabbajack. It's a staff that has, oh my god, I don't even know how many it is. It's like 100 maybe of different things it can cast on people. It can turn them into like sweet rolls, turn them into chickens, or into mud crabs. It can make them fight each other. It can just make them explode. It's pretty cool.
Change it into a sweet roll.
And then the last one from Skyrim would be Vermina, the Prince of Dreams and Nightmares. Her Daedric artifact would be called the what's it called? Staff. I don't remember. It's a staff that is pretty useless. Nobody cares about it. It just does stuff with dreams and stuff. Useless. Nobody cares. And there's all the Daedric princes.
Damn. Is this an episode like 2 hours long? Holy shit.
It's only been like 40 minutes.
Fucking, I don't want to edit a full 2. That's going to take like 2 nights to fucking. Oh my God.
Next, we'll talk about all the factions. First off, we got the College of Winterhold. They're the main factions where you could do stuff with magic, blah blah blah. One of the worst campaigns, I would say. All the campaign is trying not to have Winterhold explode. Pretty weak. Then we'll go in. Well, I guess we'll go over to the companions, which is the warrior type of group. Their questline, I would say, is better than the college, but it's still pretty pathetic. It just makes it pretty much all their quest is collecting pieces of Wuthrad, which is a big old axe carried by Ythgrimor, who conquered Skyrim. That's pretty much all their questline is. They deal with werewolves and stuff in first scene. You could become a werewolf through this questline. Blah blah, who cares? After that, we'll talk about the Thieves Guild, in which their questline is definitely. It's the most thought out. It's the most well developed. It's one of the coolest ones, I would say, but it's not the coolest. Their questline is just steal things and kill this guy. That's pretty much it. And then one of, in my opinion, is the best guild would be the Dark Brotherhood. Their questline is definitely one of the better ones. People could disagree, but in my opinion, Dark Brotherhood is the best. They have the coolest gear, the best weapons, and the most thought out story. The beginning is a bit because all it is kill this dude, kill that guy, kill this lady, come back, rinse and repeat. But then when you start getting into like the good main quest line of that area, it's still good. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And they're all the guilds.
That's way less than I thought. I didn't have to sit for 20 minutes.
I could go through every single quest line for them.
No, we're fucking done with that. All right.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. Okay.
Catch your breath.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot this episode. All right. Okay, so now, okay. Give me a rundown of the main play styles you could go for with Skyrim, because I know this is a giant topic of argument between you and the rest of the class, because I remember one lunch you yelled at everyone because their fucking play styles sucked. So I want you to tell me what are the possible play styles.
Okay, there's 3 main play styles with subclasses.
Damn, Jordan's going hard in Rocket League right now. He is really popping off.
I'm a little mad.
But anywho, yeah, there's 3 main classes, and then they could have subcategories to those classes. So you have the warrior, which you could either use 2-handed or 1-handed block. They would mainly increase their health and stamina, but mainly into the health side. They're more the tanky group. They're the ones that just run up into the fray, swinging swords and axes, and maces around, crushing people's heads and slicing them. You have the mages, who would primarily use magic from the 5 magic trees of alteration, conjuration, destruction, illusion, and restoration.
Illusion.
Destruction would be your main damaging spells, like fire, frost, and shock are the 3 elements. Conjuration would be used to summon the undead and Gamora, and to reanimate the dead.
And who?
Reanimate the dead.
I thought this man said Gamora. Hold on.
Dramora?
Oh, okay.
You know, like Daedra.
Yeah, I know. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Then you would have illusion, which would be used to, I guess you could say, play the battlefield. You could use it to calm your enemies, or make them fight against each other, or become invisible. It's pretty cool. I never really used illusion. Restoration's pretty basic of heal yourself or others. And then alteration would be flesh spells and wards to mitigate incoming damage. And then the thieves, or the stealth people. They would most likely mainly use either daggers or would use bow and arrow. Their skills mainly increase sneak attack damage with said daggers and bows. Yeah, that's pretty much all you could talk about the sneak. They'd most likely. You could probably. Actually, we're talking about the main. I'll keep subcategories later, or talk about subcategories. But they would mainly, if using bow, they would keep to the shadows with sneak on to get that sneak attack damage. Bows, I usually play with bows and or magic. And then
What's the difference between using bows and crossbows?
There's not really a difference. The difference is crossbows do more damage, and instead of having to rack an arrow, the bolt would already be in there, so you can just shoot it instead of having to pull back the arrow. But bows are quieter. Crossbows would make more noise, which means enemies would detect you faster. Crossbows are the thing that you would pull out if you want to one-shot an enemy or take out an enemy faster, while a bow is if you're trying to sneak through an area picking off enemies.
And a bow has like a nice sound if you get a headshot.
Yeah.
It's the Call of Duty hit marker sound.
But they're the three main combat styles.
Okay. Got it. So we're reaching near the end of the episode, and I'm not going to make this a 2-hour long episode because
I could if you wanted.
I'm sure. Okay, so kind of wrap this up a little bit. I want to get your opinion of the other Elder Scrolls games. If you haven't played them, you don't have to say anything, but I want your opinion on the other ones.
Okay. So I guess we'll talk about Oblivion. That's the one before Skyrim. Oblivion. I enjoyed Oblivion actually. It was probably one. It was good, but I wouldn't put it on par with Skyrim. Pretty much all that quest line's about is, hey, Emperor died. Make this dude Emperor. Oh no, people are trying to kill this dude. Kill the dude who's trying to kill the dude. Oh, you killed the dude? Cool, this dude's now Emperor. But oh wait, there's more. Mehrunes Dagon is trying to get summoned into the real world. Oh no, stop that. Oh no, you didn't stop it. Oh no, dude who wanted to be Emperor turned into dragon and killed Mehrunes Dagon. Oh well, end of story.
That's a great story.
Damn, we could turn that into a book.
That was better than the Skyrim story synopsis. Holy shit.
That's the Oblivion storyline.
Everyone, go play Oblivion. Actually, don't.
Yeah. Play Skyrim.
What about Morrowind?
I'll talk about Morrowind.
Okay,
we don't talk about Morrowind?
Oh, we don't talk about Morrowind?
Jordan, what's wrong with Morrowind, Jordan? Jordan, you're not, dude. Don't even fucking joke with me, okay? Rocket League head ass.
Pretty much Morrowind is you arrive on a ship as a prisoner dude. You get pardoned. The ship is where you first meet Jib. And Jib's a pretty cool guy.
Jib's pretty cool.
I've played a little of Morrowind. I haven't beaten Morrowind, but I've played a little bit of it. And pretty much the story is this dude is trying to become a god. Stop the dude from becoming.
This dude.
Yeah, that's pretty much the main storyline of Morrowind.
And I imagine you haven't played Daggerfall or Arena.
Nah. Morrowind's the farthest back I've played.
Right. and we had to talk about Elder Scrolls Online, RuneScape, which is the best Elder Scrolls Online. RuneScape, yeah, right? That's Elder Scrolls Online.
Mm-hmm.
Best Elder Scrolls game, RuneScape. Go play it. It's free. But yeah, as you could tell, Kris is very well versed in Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. He outleagues me by a million. Jordan, do you have anything to say?
I mean, what is there to say?
Jordan,
Kris is like a fucking nerd on this shit.
Kris is a dictionary. Jordan, what's your favorite thing about Skyrim?
I like the magic and the adventure.
All right, that was the CADCast, everyone.
God,
Thanks for listening.
I hated that. That was the worst answer you could have given, Jordan.
This man's.
That's what I was aiming for.
I like the fire.
I really like the depth in all the books that they give us. Like, I really like around 72 books at this point. And
I enjoy reading.
I didn't talk about every single weapon.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
No, shut up. The most.
First, we'll talk about iron. Iron weapons are the weakest weapons you could get, and they're mainly used to the beginning of the game. They're the starter weapons, but then once you start leveling up, you can get into places like steel, in which steel is a little bit stronger than iron and would be the second weapon you would want to use. Okay? But then, as you keep leveling up, you'll find Imperial stuff, which is a little bit better than steel. But then you'll start finding the good stuff like Elven and Orcish and maybe a bit of Dwemer in there, which will all be middle game armors. You'll probably find those later in the game, near level 60 something. And then as you keep going through, you'll find the good stuff like glass armor and ebony armor and praise the Lord. Glass armor. Shut up. And then praise the Lord, you'll find the God Daedric armor. But wait, there's more. With DLCs, you can get Dragon Bone and Dragon Scale armor and weapons.
And if you call within the next 10 minutes.
In which that is the strongest damage per weight of an item. Now we'll talk about every single unique weapon in the game. First off.
And then we're going to talk about every single blade of fucking grass in the game.
First off, you have Alessandra's dagger.
He's actually doing.
It's a quest reward dagger that you get after doing a quest in, I believe it is Riften. Next, we'll talk about the Blade of Woe. The Blade of Woe is a
How many are there?
Probably over 100. Anywho, the Blade of Woe. It's a weapon you get. You can either get it before or after the Dark Brotherhood DLC.
Anyway,
Next,
I was CAD. This was
Wait,
Jordan.
what am I done yet?
No, there's 100 of them.
Next, we'll talk about other stuff. Next weapon, we have Horksbane. Horksbane is a mace that you can find in the Soulstime DLC, and it does more damage to Horkers. Next, you have Bolar's Oathblade. Bolar's Oathblade is a weapon you can get
it's not playing
before the Herstein quest line, in which it will be able to.
I mute him. Okay, I mute him. Hold on, we're gonna unmute Kris. He timed out. Let's see what he has to say for himself.
Find it within the Herstein quest line. And why are you guys laughing?
He's so good.
Anywho, next we'll talk about Zephyr. Zephyr is a bow you.
Thanks for listening to the CADcast. This has been episode 6. I'm CAD, and this was Jordan. And if Kris could talk, he would say, thanks for listening. As you could tell, Kris is a very big fan of the Elder Scrolls and Skyrim. Join us next episode where we read the entirety of Moby Dick from start to finish. Let's get some final words from Kris.
Next, you would have Dragon's Bane, which Dragon's Bane is a sword you get in Skyhaven Temple. It does more dragon damage.
Hey, Kris.
Yeah,
Kris,
yeah.
we're ending the episode in a minute.
What? I'm not even close to done.
That's a
We know.
shame.
I still have at least 95 to go.
Well, you fucking record your own hour-long piece.
Next,
of
we
your
have
fucking
Nettle's
95
Bane.
episodes.
Nettle's
Episode
Bane
6,
is
part 2.
Episode
Bane is a
fucking
weapon
episode 6,
that you
part
get
2. My
during
God.
a side quest in Whiterun. It is pretty useless.
Okay, we're actually ending the episode now. I just muted him again for last time. All right. Thanks for listening to the CADcast. If you listen all the way through, I appreciate it. If you found this interesting in any way, Kris appreciates it dearly. I'm not unmuting him because he's going to talk over me again. But here, let's have him say goodbye. Jordan, say goodbye first, and we're going to have Kris go.
All right, peace out.
The Nightingale bow is used during, the Thieves Guild
Oh my
quest line.
God.
It's pretty powerful. It does frost and shock damage. And then its companion weapon would be the Nightingale blade.